Yeah, with her two grandsons and sons.
Very delicate.
Yeah, it is. So I'm just, my wife and I just went. We stayed at Casa Dorada on the Sea of Cortez, which is nice.
Good.
Just.
All right, let's call the January 27th Architecture Review Board to order. Elise, if you could read the roll, please.
Jack Rust.
Here.
Dave Alday.
Here.
Jerry Jones.
Yep.
Joe.
Here.
Yeah, here.
We have a quorum, so we're good to go. Any potential conflicts of interest? Oh, sorry, Pledge of Allegiance is next. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we can do conflicts of interest. Any to be noted? Hearing none, let's move to item 4, looking for an approval of the minutes from way back in November 11th. Second. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Minutes are approved. Thank you. Brings us to our one item for discussion today, the exterior remodel of 1510 South 12th Street. If that candidate, if you could come to the podium so we can speak to the microphone and introduce yourself and just give us a little information on what's being proposed, please.
Yes, I'm Paul Frederick. Just looking to this building. But I don't think the exterior has been touched since the early 80s. And so just looking for approval on our plans.
And essentially it's new windows. I think new windows pretty much throughout.
Yep, we're going to have new vinyl windows. The front, the two lower windows are going to be basically double the size of what they are now. They're going to extend down further. And then the upstairs ones are going to look like very similar layout, basically the same layout as what it is now, but just new windows. Because those are also from the 50s, so.
And the trim around the windows, the rendering you submitted looked as if there's black trim around the lower windows on the front. Is that?
I believe it's going to be black trim around all of it.
Okay, super.
Yeah.
Okay, and then all the areas that are currently the stucco with the black half timbering are getting resided with your gray siding.
Yeah.
There was one.
It's more like a dark brown.
Okay.
But the old stucco stuff is like deteriorating, and so we're going to tear that off and then put this new siding.
The exterior view that shows primarily the front, but a little bit of the south, there was an area that wasn't colored there with the new siding. It shows up.
That's in
the other view.
in the phase 2. I had that in here that was going to be done at a later date.
Actually, if we can,
I think that was noted as the residential end of the building, correct, versus the commercial end?
The front of it's commercial, or the whole lower unit's commercial.
Okay.
And then the upper, there's a 2-bedroom in the front and a 1 in the back. So, but the plan is to eventually do all of that. We just want to do this phase first because that's the only part that has that stucco looking stuff that's falling apart.
the image that's up on the screen toward the back of the new siding at the top is still shown as the stucco and wood trim. Just wanted to make sure that that was just a rendering error.
Yeah, all the stucco is going to be gone. There was also something too, I had an estimate recently for siding, and he pointed out that these, you know how these like roofs in the front kind of like come off the building? Like those are just added on there. And some of them aren't. The lower one, there's a part, you can't see it in the picture, but it's starting to kind of fall apart. So I didn't know if that was something that, once we start taking stuff off, if we could just side that whole thing. Because those are like just added on there for cosmetics from what I understand.
Yeah, that would significantly change the appearance of that front if you run into things with that.
Yeah.
Anything different from what was submitted now would have to come back again to be looked at. Typically for that sort of thing, just siding it probably wouldn't be sufficient. We'd be looking for some sort of freeze board in there to give it just a little more character as a commercial structure.
Sure.
Just keep that in mind, but we would...
Like in between the upper and the lower?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just something...
Because you'd have to do something like that if you had signage or something too, so, yeah.
Right.
Understandable.
Just changing from that little mansard roof piece that's stuck on the front would change the feel quite a bit, and then the windows are differently proportioned, so we'd want to take a look at that. Any other questions or comments from the board?
Oh, it's better than what's there. I make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion is approved. Thank you very much.
I had one other question.
Yeah, sure.
On the one picture that you can kind of see from the road with this tree here, a lot of the trees running up and down on both sides of that road, like all the brickwork's pulled up and like the concrete's all jacked up. Who do I talk to about? Is that like a city thing, or is that like a...
That's going to be the Department of Public Works.
Yeah.
Of
Public Works.
Okay. Sounds good. That's all I have.
Super. We appreciate the improvements to the building. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What is your schedule? When are you anticipating starting that?
We'll order windows soon. Those are about a month and a half out. And then we'll probably have stuff going on the outside, I would say, hopefully in March.
Okay, great.
Yeah. That's the goal, but we'll see how things go.
We know how that goes. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any further business? Otherwise, it looks as if our next meeting is February 10th.
10th.
Thank you all for responding, for making sure we've got a quorum. That's helpful. And thank you all for being here. And I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.